So here's a video of just all the stuff that I read a lot of books, but I'm not talking about book learning, really. Not that I can think of. I didn't read, so um, I read most of a book by Francis Fukuyama about different cultures and their relationship to trust and whatnot. So I learned a bit in that. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about what I learned from day to day to day to day, just like living the roller coaster that is my life. Staying around for joy and seeing what's next and living through the times when I couldn't walk and when I couldn't get out of bed and when I felt so goddamn high on life that I thought that everything was going to fall into place and magic existed and all these kinds of things that ultimately didn't really prove to be true. But I guess that's the how you say it's a sad and beautiful world. That's the broad tapestry of existence. Always does not cease to amaze, I guess. Um, so anyway, I'll quit babbling about what this is, and I don't have any notes, so I'll try and reel off just a few of those wisdom that have come into my mind over this horrible, wonderful, terrible, lovely, exotic, ordinary, painful, ecstatic year, I guess. Um, so here goes. I'll reel off without too much explanation, but first one is um, this means something. It's related to a paranormal experience that I had. And the lesson I learned is that if your paranormal experience involves a pornography actress, even if she's in a Netflix video, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. And and trying to ride a wave of fame off that said pornography actress, even if she is also a YouTube streamer and somewhat of an influencer and whatnot. No, it's not going to happen. So that was one thing I learned. Then I learned that shame and resentment and resilience are all parts of life, and you just got to ride it through and not give up and know that there's more to be revealed at every turn, every corner. And that reminds me of one thing, every time I've gotten close to giving up, um, there's always signs. There's always messages from the beyond saying, "No, you're part of this. There is meaning. There is some thing going on that means that you are inextricably linked to reality and have a place within it. So never give up. Never do that. It's not worth it. And you know, you just got to ride the lightning." Um, Talking about lightning, funny thing. There was a cyclone up in northern Queensland, Australia, this year, which had the same name as one of my kittens that was born 2 months ago. And that's quickly another lesson. Um, Kittens are the best goddamn things in the whole goddamn universe. And dogs aren't too bad. I saw some dogs today that made me go, ah, they're not too bad, but kittens are the best. What else? Um, Breaking links with family, hard, especially when it's necessary. But if it's toxic, if it's codependent, if it's abusive, you just got to do it. It's it's like leaving a cult, I guess. Um, and it's tough, and you want them to reach out to you, and you want to give up and go back, and all these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, you know, once you break with those evil, toxic elements that have been keeping you back, it's it's only for the better. Um, we're all worthy individuals, and we deserve to be respected and not treated like dirt by people that have made us love them through whatever nefarious means may have come about. So um, but God bless the aunties and uncles, and the ones that you love, and the families that you choose, and all those kinds of things. Um, so yeah, that's a lesson. And another lesson, jumping forward, I guess, is that no good deed goes unpunished. You think you're doing the right thing, you think you're letting the world know about bad things that are happening and bad people in the world, and you end up with a violence intervention order. So, I won't go into that, but curse you. You know who I'm talking about if you're watching this, which you probably are, because you are what you are, and I won't go into it. But as I say, um, that said, taking the higher road, um, going above the gutter and recriminations and resentments and things is really goddamn difficult. And if you don't choose to do that, there are consequences. So, you know, um, what feels good and right at the time will always come back and go, well, this is what it is. Um, you do you do a whole bunch of cleaning, house cleaning, and you end up with gout for a month. So, and et cetera, et cetera. So, that's another lesson I've learned. Um, okay, what else? What else? What else? Um, Insanity is a thing. It does happen. It often happens after sleepless nights and playing around with ChatGPT and whirling through streets on a prayer and feeling like you're on top of the world, and then suddenly your mind is no longer yours, and things spin out of control. Um, Hospital is involved. Um, Physical illness is involved as well. Um, all these kinds of things, and you know, hospital when you're in a state of grace isn't too bad, but then once you're out, that's the hardest part, to be honest. Um, you know, it's a tough lesson, but these things happen. I'm stronger for it, and also, I guess a lesson I learned in hospital is you got to stand up for your rights, stand up to abusive people wherever they come, um, and you know there are people that are going to make you feel bad. There are people who are going to abuse you because of your personality and how you live your life and how you represent within this world. And that's on them ultimately. You know, you know, there's nothing about me. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to change as best I can, but I am what I am, and there's always going to be people who scope me out and see me coming, and make judgments about me before they even know me, and that is what it is. I've come to accept that. Um, you know, um, and there are people who befriend you and then tell you about how they like your pants and they had a wank over them and stuff, whatever. And then you just got to cut that shit out ultimately. But be honest. But ultimately, um, you know, I learned many years ago, um, it's not that difficult to make friends, but it is more difficult to make friends that are worth having as friends, if that makes sense. Um, any Harry Dean Martin's going to be friends with you, but ultimately, do you want them in your life? Possibly not, you know? Um, what else? What else? What else? Okay, okay, okay. Love life. Um, if you meet someone in real life and you like them and you think there's something there, don't pussy out. Don't chicken out and not do something about it and be all like, well, she works at a shop, I can go visit her some other time. Well, no, no, that's not how it works, ultimately. Maybe sometimes, but it's better to grab the horns as they come and see where the day takes you. I obviously didn't do that, and learned my lesson, I guess. You got to man up, you got to person up, you got to do what you got to do, and if you can't do it, well, you ride that wave as well. Um, and then online online dating. Um, if you're emoting a lot and feeling like it means something, but you're only getting like one syllable, one sentence responses and niceness, well, it's probably your own experience of what you're putting into it that makes it mean anything. The other person may be real, they may not be. Um, you know, um, so it's tough. I won't go into it. I mean, I was corresponding with a nice Northern Irish girl for quite some time. Well, a couple of weeks and anything. But anyway, it didn't go anywhere, and ultimately I broke it off and felt terrible. But in hindsight, it wasn't anything really. Um, so you got to respect yourself and do what you got to do, and um, you can't push shit up a hill. You know, if it's not there, it's not there. So that is what it is, and then. Uh, Dating apps, I learned that Hinge is better as a drinking game than an actual place to find someone because that shit is normy as hell. So, um, Hinge to get drunk on. I won't go into my Hinge game, but it's a banger. It's a really good game. Um, but as far as scoping anything of any interest, well, not so much. Um, okay, IRL love. Um, don't fall in love with a sex worker. Like, really? Unless, you're Andrew Tate or something. Or, like, you know, you're Richard Gere in Pretty Woman or whatever, because ultimately it's a zero sum game, and it's probably not gonna end well, especially if you're trying to be chaste. And um, one thing that's gonna turn a hooker off you like that is like when she asks you if you're gonna fuck her and you say no. Wank yourself off, lady. It's not my fault. Um, that's like a magic trick that turns like good feeling and some level of passion into like an icy, icy cold bath of despair or something. Like yeah, I don't know. I don't think, I think it was an enlightening experience of hers having someone actually reject her her juicy bits or whatever. I won't go into it, but yeah. And related to that, I guess, um, if you're falling for someone, try not to have shared um, interests as theirs. And I know that sounds contrary to how you say, it doesn't sound logical, shared interests, all this kind of thing. But the thing is, when it goes bad, when it goes south, that shared interest, that interest of yours, is going to be painful as hell. Yep. Like, you know, you and your beloved are both, Limp Biscuit fans, and then, she bangs your sister or whatever, and never wants to talk to you again, and now you can't fucking enjoy Fred Durst anymore, or whatever. Um, so yeah, um, if you're a post-hardcore kid, fall in love with a country girl, maybe, I don't know. Um, what else have I got? What else have I got? What else have I got? Oh yeah. Um, Trauma is real. Pain is real. Um, Crying helps. Talking helps. But acting out and running away from them, no, it's never gonna work out. I mean, um, and if you have a background of trauma, you're always going to carry it with you. You're always going to fuck shit up. You're always going to end up saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or ending up in a rut. And hopefully you have someone to bail you out, like I did. But ultimately, um, you know, you, as crowd say, you always take the weather with you. So it may work for a while, but ultimately, them rain's gonna come and take you down just the same as you were before. So, um, better yourself, move on where you are, get help, do all these things to make better before you try and change things irrevocably and think that geography is gonna do the trick, because it never does. Well, it probably never will. Um, Related to that, if you're traveling, probably don't take a water pipe bong with you, because it may seem like a good idea at the time, but if you don't want to get kicked out of your hostel because some Polish manager bitch fucking hates you and wants an excuse to kick you out, don't take the bong with you. You know. Um, And that's another thing. If you're an Australian, and I don't know if this is the same in other countries, but if you're an Australian on a budget, you may get in trouble trying to stay in backpackers, because not so bad some places, but I found um, on island time on the West Coast, it's sketchy, man. It's hard. So that's another lesson. So what else have I got? What else have I got? Oh yeah, COVID is a motherfucker, and you may think you have natural immunity like I thought I did, um, but spend a couple of nights in hostels surrounded by filthy Europeans and South Americans and whatnot. Oh, they're not filthy. You know what I'm saying? But I live in the country, so I went almost like I got sick pretty much within the first month back in 2020, and I went over 3 years without getting sick, and I thought that I was fucking Superman. Um, but then I stayed in a hostel. I got to a hostel day before my birthday, and on my birthday, happy fucking birthday, COVID. And it was it I would say it's a life defining experience. It really was something else. I mean, as I said in my my COVID review video that nobody watched, um, it really was a fucking an experience in unwellness. As I said, I gave it a solid 8 out of 10 for unwellness. Like the amount of snot and mucus that was coming out of my face, the amount of sleep I needed, um, all these kinds of things. It was full on, man. Um, so, but that said, um, you know, I'm gonna stay in the country and stay away from backpackers for a while because I don't want that shit again for a while at least because that was nasty. And who knows what my experience will be if I ever got it again. Like mine was mostly head, um, sinus stuff, all this kind of stuff. So but yeah, COVID. It's not it's not nice. Didn't kill me, but that said, I could see how that could kill someone. I mean, it lasted over 2 weeks for me. Um, I was blowing mucus out of my face every 2 hours, which made it not too bad, but it was still just no, no, no thanks. No thanks, not again. So that's that. Um, so I think I'm getting to the end of it. Whatever. Oh yeah, if you want to make without feeling it, really, just use YouTube Shorts. It'll make you feel absolutely horrible, and you feel like you're in this total bubble of just bad information and stuff. Especially for me, um, my guilty pleasure is alt right YouTube, right wing conservative YouTube. Um, Kind of guilty passion, it's not something, it's not, I mean, for me, anything, it's all about the voice, it's all about the enjoyment. um I don't read too much into it. If it makes me happy, um I've always been one who's like, if a person can write, if a person can talk, if a person can exposit, and it makes me enjoy it, then all the better. Um, that said, um, peace to all the transgender and peace to all the transsexuals, LGBTQIA plus, etc., etc. I'm down. I understand. Um, but damn, some of that conservative takedown stuff is just, I'm onto it. So yeah, YouTube Shorts. I signed up for TikTok, but I only made one video and I never used it again. Um, so I'm all about the YouTube Shorts, and ultimately, I'm probably never gonna get much of an audience because I don't use TikTok. I just use YouTube. Like I'm old school like that. I've been on here since 2006, and in one form or another. So yeah, if you wanna make your life feel less bad but actually worse at the same time, YouTube Shorts. And talking about YouTube, another way to make things easier, watch Kenny and Spenny. I think I'm already repeating episodes that I watched a couple of weeks ago just because, like, Kenny versus Spenny. Fuck yeah. Peace to my Canadian Jewish brothers. Um, and I don't know, I think they're just so wonderful. Like, it just shows you that two people cannot get along but also get along so well at the same time, and it just makes me so happy that, like, real friendship is actually a thing and those two actually prove it. So Kenny Hartz and Spencer Rice and Gavin McInnes, you can eat a poo, because I don't know, maybe not. I don't mind Gavin McInnes. Again with the enjoyment factor over felonious content. type of thing. But Kenny versus Spenny will get you through. And another thing, um, podcasts, of course. I've learned that the hard, well, I don't know if it's a hard way, but podcasts definitely help. Still on that hardcore history shiz. Getting into Boys Cast again with the Canadians. Loving that Ryan Long and Danny stuff. Don't mind a bit of Bad Friends, a bit of Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, although Andrew Santino is problematic. Um, haven't really rocked any Mile High for a while, and getting back into the Your Mom's House and their special. I think it dropped yesterday or something, so check that out. The 69 minutes special, um, and then I guess I probably got more lessons and stuff. Um, But finally, one lesson that I've learned is that cinema and television is definitely dead. Um, there's still really good content being made, which helps in this screen addicted age. It's still possible to see things that aren't just absolute brain poop, like eye filth. There's still good stuff being made, and I'm gonna make some videos about my favorite films and television of the year. Not here, but and finally, um, pedophile paranoia is still alive and kicking in New Zealand. Ta-da! That's what I learned from the show After the Party, which is actually a really, 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 really amazing show. If you're in for a roller coaster emotional ride, I just watched it this morning from start to finish. It was just off the charts, really. And I mean, I've always known New Zealand makes amazing film and television, but this seriously, like an 8 or 9, I would give that. Is a bit cringy, and again, it's like, you know, as someone who enjoys a conservative mindset and a bit of a right wing screed. Um, at the same time, I can still enjoy aesthetics and filmmaking, dialogue, all these kinds of things. It doesn't have to fit within my what I consume on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like if that was a thing, I'd just be like, I hate myself. This is a blah 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 blah. But that's not me. Like, um, I am a person who lives completely vicariously, just about most of the time. Um, so if you can get past that, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's right wing or left wing, if it's manipulative, if it's hokey, if it's stupid, then, not for me. And ultimately, that was going to be my last lesson. But my very last lesson is if you live in the country, it's possible to live without a car as long as you're on the disability insurance shiz. Da-da-da. So I've been doing that for a while now. Um, love living the carless lifestyle and just doing my thing in a small country town. And it's possible, as long as you have a decent budget for someone to take you shopping every week, which is nice. And, I kind of feel like I'm doing my part for the environment, even though someone is driving me around still in a car. But, I'm not driving myself around. So, I kind of feel not too bad. Somewhat, well, maybe, I don't know. At least I didn't have to pay for insurance and registration. So, anyway, that is my video on what I learned this 2023 year. Some hard learned lessons, some not so hard learned lessons, some funny ones, some difficult ones, as they always are to be. So, anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Um, Lego is still good, but sometimes you got to take a break. And then it comes back even better later. So yeah. Ta-da! Thank you very much. Um, yep, 30 minutes. Thank you kindly. And until we meet again, all the best for the last couple of weeks of 2023. And may 2024 bring absolutely no lessons whatsoever. And remember, once you think you know something, that's when you don't. Bye bye.